us a rundown. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and then we'll dive into some questions I have for you.
Wow. The first thing that comes to mind is that I'm going through an identity crisis. So
welcome to my identity crisis.
Welcome to my identity crisis. Yeah. That's basically like, I don't know who I am. But the things that I do know about myself that are pretty stable.
Yeah. Consistent.
I'm a sex and birth coach from Sweden. I live in Sweden, hence the time zone difference. It's 3 p.m. for me right now. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm also a former nurse. I've done lots of crazy stuff. I'm in my mid-30s, and for the first pretty much all throughout my 20s, I was pretty wild, a wild traveler, and I was roaming around the world, seemingly lost and confused in a way, but there was always this current red thread through my stuff, but I didn't know that until I was able to, in hindsight, connect all the dots, and that brought me to becoming a sex coach. And it also brought me from pre-orgasmic to multi-orgasmic, and from really shut down in my sexuality to having a really wonderfully thriving sexuality in a partnership that's been going for pretty much 18 years. We have a kid, so don't believe the lie that sex has to become bad and dry and boring. It can actually get better and better. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Hi, Jana. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Michelle. Alessia says, I love that you're in Europe and you're a sex coach. So interesting. And Jana says, great to see someone from Europe and so close to my country. Awesome. Jana, where are you? So good. Yeah. So I think one of the things that I'm most excited about, besides your just complete openness and willingness to go there on the podcast, is that it is something different that you do. I feel like pretty much up to now, everyone that we've had on the podcast, I'm trying to think about that, has mostly worked with other business owners. I think Rachel kind of did a little bit of both, but there's always been that flavor to it. And yours is totally the opposite, not in the business realm, not serving other business owners, though obviously I, as a business owner, could take one of your courses. It's just not the thing around your marketing. And I think that's so helpful for people to see and hear, because I feel like there gets to be this notion sometimes in our industry that only people who are helping other businesses are successful. And you're just shattering that mold. So tell us about that a little bit and your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, I think I say this in the first episode as well, but I literally help people, literally people pay me to have orgasms.
Right.
That's what I get paid for, to have and more so than that, if we expand on that, an orgasm is really just, well, sometimes it's the tip of the iceberg, sometimes it's the whole mountain, but depending on the type of orgasm you have. But more than that, it's it's about your relationship with yourself. It's about sexuality really affecting all areas of your life, and happiness and joy. It's relationship health and wealth and longevity, or happy uncoupling. It could also lead to that sometimes. But yeah, it's about, I help people access and unleash and even heal their sexuality. And that's where I started. And then when I became pregnant and it was my first pregnancy, my first childbirth, I used the same tools that I use in my sexuality work in preparing for and when giving birth. And I was like, holy shit, this is a whole new niche. And there's so much work to be done here. So I developed my own birth coaching style, and I now do birth coaching as well.
So amazing. Jana's in Latvia. Lindsay says she's in Portugal. She loves that you're from Europe. Alessia says, very helpful to see someone that doesn't serve other businesses. Totally. That's one of the reasons I was just so pumped to have Eric on here. I think we just need that other context. And I think we need to remember sometimes that we're just not getting as much of the behind the scenes, because it wouldn't make sense for Erica to like be talking about how much money her business is making all the time in her sex and birth coaching content. So she's happy to like do it on the podcast, but it's just like sometimes we have to remember the reason we're hearing so much from like business coaches is because it just makes sense for their content. So like I'm not talking about like my sex life and my content all the time, but you are, because it makes sense for your content. So it's just like thinking about the nuance there and realizing that sometimes that's why it's different. But that's why the podcast is awesome, because y'all are going to get behind the scenes of all of that.
Yeah.
Maria's here. She says, beautiful to see you, Eric. I'm so grateful to have learned from you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Kate.
yay. A friend from from
Friend.
somewhere.
So awesome. Okay. So I think it would be cool if you just run us through a little, and we kind of go through some of this in the first episode, but you know, run us through kind of like, actually, a different question. I'll come back to that one. I actually really would like to talk about some of the stuff we've already gotten into, because you kind of alluded to it when we started, where you were like, hi, I'm Erica, I'm going through an identity crisis. But like, tell me, like, what do you think? Because we're about a month in, give or take, but Erica also took a 3-week like summer holiday. So we're like more or less, but like about a month worth of sessions. And so tell me, like, what have we already gotten into that you feel like people will be like really excited to hear, that you're excited for them to hear, that you feel like is going to be most helpful?
Well, we kind of like, we dove into the deep end, like straight into money mindset
That
and money
too.
psychology stuff. So there's
Mhm.
a nice treat for everyone to begin with, where I share about, you know, my feelings and sort of like underlying psychology around money and wealth and success, and to actually charge for making people have orgasms. Like, is that a legitimate thing to get paid for? Like, old me wouldn't say that. New me is like, of course, we can outsource everything, and they're experts in all areas of life and, you know, things. So why not? So that's, I think that will be exciting. I think that will keep coming up as well through
Yeah.
our journey together.
Something that
And
I love
when
that really came up in that money conversation is that hey Jamie, she is here. She says, so great to meet you. Something that really came up for me there, that I think I personally know that almost every one of us goes through some version of, but I don't think gets talked about very much, is the once you start making more, digesting the responsibility of that, the responsibility to your team, to how you're spending it, to how you're holding it, to what it means for your family, to what it means to replicate it. Like, I think we only think of making more as positive, and it is in so many ways, but this idea of like, there is this whole shadow side that has to get processed too. And I feel like you like just went right there, and I was so grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely. And so that will definitely keep coming up, hopefully, as I make more, hopefully, and
Yes.
keep expanding, hopefully. And then what else? We've been also talking about, well, and that relates to my identity crisis, I guess. Really of, and I knew this before, but it's one thing of knowing it. Like, it's one thing having the theoretical framework, and then it's another thing of actually practically moving through it in your life. But business development really being like personal development on steroids, or so it's
Yeah.
so deep. And one thing that's been coming up is my like happy-go-lucky, like, oh, I've started a business and I'm this free spirit, I'm so spontaneous, and I don't like, and then at
I
the
don't
same
like
time,
structure.
yeah, no structure, no
Yeah.
schedule, don't tell me what to do and when. I want to operate on feeling, and and that has been working. It's been working, but it definitely isn't making me feel grounded, happy, confident in a way, and it's been just causing a lot of friction and tension within myself, in my family, and with me, with my business, like my interpersonal relationship with my business.
Yep.
And so this idea of like, I'm disorganized, or I don't like structure, or I'm so spontaneous, those parts of me were so strong before, and they're starting to really loosen up, and I'm starting to really release them. And so there's, I think for anyone listening, understanding the deeper psychology around that and how different parts can run the show and how sub-personalities can take over and like make you do things that you actually don't want to do anymore, or prevent you from doing things that you really know would benefit you. I think that will be really beneficial to the listeners.
I so agree. And I think like one of the cool things about having you specifically is like, you're so like, you're so committed already to like your own self exploration that I think like then like bringing that to a coaching container, I feel like we're able to go so deep because you're already doing so much of that yourself. And then you're bringing it to coaching. So it's like, I don't know how to put it, but it feels like it's like an even bigger onion in this like really beautiful way, because we're able to like really get into it because you're bringing so much perspective already on like, here's what my inner child is doing, or here's the me from 10 years ago that's like showing up right now. Like, I think it's just going to be like this really beautiful way to look at it and for people to like hear you process through it. But I feel like so many people probably resonate with that there are just these pieces of themselves that are so identified. And then once you get into like business or motherhood or whatever, they start to create all this friction, right?
Yeah. And that's also one of the reasons why I was really interested in working with you in the first place, because I know your therapy background and I knew that you would be able to hold me in those things, because I'm really knowledgeable. I'm a, I'm an informed coach myself when it comes to these really deep personal things and personal transformation. So that's why I really loved, well, that's why I anticipated loving working with you, because I know that you're not just a business coach with, the regular kind of like business competence and support in that way, but there's also that deeper psychology and like therapeutic. I knew it would be a therapeutic container as well. So I just wanted to like share that with you. Yeah, and I appreciate you for that.
I appreciate you. It's so funny because I remember you saying to me the first time we talked, you're like, listen, I've been doing the business thing for a while. Like I mostly know what I need to do. I just like literally need someone to like hold all of this and process all of this with me. It's not like I don't know how to do my own self-exploration. It's not like I don't know how to launch a course. I just don't want to do this on my own anymore. And I thought that was really beautiful. That's something I've been talking about a decent amount, or maybe I should reframe that I will be talking about a decent amount. I don't think it's all gone out yet, but in the marketing of this idea of like, you don't have to hire someone because you don't know something. Sometimes you hire someone because it's going well, or because the things you're doing are working and you want the like support and container and processing around that. And like, I feel like that should get normalized so much more. And so I just like appreciate you saying that, where it's not like you came to me being like, these 10 things are super, super wrong and like, we have to fix them. You were mostly like, I just had a really good launch actually, but like, I'm kind of sick of like doing all the processing myself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So good. Carrie says, this is so great. She's a multi-passionate love coach. So she's really excited to listen and learn, and so resonates. Oh, yay. Mandy says, so excited for this season. Yeah, I think it is going to be just really different. And I'm so pumped for that. I remember when Erica and I had a conversation, she was like, it's cool that I say like pussy and vagina and orgasm and all this stuff, because I'm sure that's going to be wildly different for your audience. And I was so pumped for that, because that's what we want. Like, I want this podcast to show you all the different aspects of all different kinds of business, of all different kinds of growth. And I think that that's what's really beautiful here. Okay, so tell me, what do you think about like today when you were thinking about going live? Like, is there any like hesitation for you now that we're kind of getting to the point where the podcast is about to go live? Does it feel any different, or how are you feeling right now?
I feel like I've processed the vulnerability and the embarrassment already. And so now I'm like, fuck it.
Like, let's do it.
It's done. And I've been thinking about, should I listen to it? Do I want to listen to it? And maybe I will, but it's not like I'm going to go back and listen and like, sit there and like, oh my God, I can't believe I say that, or like cringe, or celebrate myself for feeling or sounding interesting or intelligent or successful or whatever. I think what I've I've come to a point where it's like, this is happening. This has happened. This was a moment in time, a moment in reality. And I just release it. So whoever listens, they, they will have their process and their experience with it, and that's theirs. And mine is just my own journey, and just trying to be as present in both in the sessions, but also like afterwards and before, like on this call, like just being present with what I own and what is mine. And that is just my experience. I'm a human being. I'm wildly imperfect and messy and human. And so I think what I just ground into is the humanness of it all. Like if I experience it, so will someone else.
Totally. That's literally what people are saying right now. Like Lindsay was saying, I resonate so much with like, I can do this, but I don't want to, or Jana was saying is resonating so much with processing without actually being wrong. So like, exactly, like it's already there that everyone's like, yes, I needed that, or I get that. Right.
Yeah. So no, I feel good. And I feel like I feel really clean and clear with it. Same with that podcast that I reached out to you and had to process during my vacation. That feels super clean and clear now. So sometimes it's just about metabolizing or digesting that something very intimate or vulnerable has been shared. And then it's like, I give that to the universe. Like it all kind of exists in the human field and plane, and it all sits between us, and we all own it because it's human.
It's so true. Okay. I have so many thoughts on that, but I have to say two things before I forget. One is I totally want to say this before I go any further, but what I had said in the email is that I wanted to thank you all for being here and supporting Erica and welcoming her. So I am giving away $200 gift cards if you're here. So you don't have to say anything specific, but if you want to be entered to win, just make a comment. So if you've already made a comment, we'll count it. Otherwise, just, tell her you're excited or welcome her or whatever. But I really just wanted to thank all of you for the support and encourage you to support Erica because of this reason, because it's super fucking vulnerable, because it's super intense, and because there's a lot to metabolize to put yourself out there, as you were saying. And I think because like when you and I talked, like I know so much of your why in this, but in your business too, is to like have these like normalizing conversations and give women permission to be human. And so like, I know you're doing this to serve others. It's not like just self-serving in that sense. So anyway, I love you guys and I just appreciate you being here. So any comment counts, nothing specific you have to say, but just wanted to send you all love for loving on our new human, our new coachee. And then also, while we're at it, Michelle is here, and we just have to celebrate her for a second because today is her first full-time day as an entrepreneur. She had her last day at her job on Friday. So I just want to celebrate you, Michelle, and send you love because that's so incredible. And I hope you're having the best Monday. And I'm so grateful to you for spending your first Monday not at a job with us. Okay, so the thing that you said about listening to it, I thought was so interesting because I personally don't ever listen back. Ever. Right? And the reason I don't is for the same reason you said, which is like, I can't change any of that. And so it's almost too easy to go listen back to things like that. And then like do that thing where you're like, oh, I wish I would have said this in a slightly different way. I wish I would have. So it's like being present to the process where I trust that like whatever I said at the time was the best thing at the time. So anyway, just wanted to say that because I totally agree with that. And like having done this for a while, I find it better to not. Like I think sometimes it's helpful, I think, if you want to go re-listen to a coaching thread, but not in the like, because I want to see what I said kind of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring it up because when I started teaching, when I was really like novice as a teacher and I was really inexperienced, I would go back and listen to all the sessions I did, to the recordings, but not from a place of judging myself or like having that egoic like cringe moment, like, oh, I suck so much. But like, all right, so how was that? What was my sound like? What was my voice like? Did that even make sense? Like I would go back and really examine and evaluate what I did. And that made me a better teacher. But in this process, and I think in interview, like you've done this for a while now, but in this process, I'm not a teacher and I'm not teaching anything. So I'm just a human. And so doing it on myself, on that experience would feel like I'm judging a human rather than I'm not evaluating my professional capacity and looking at it to grow and learn.
Exactly. And that's totally what it is. Like and especially like, I think that's sort of why I don't, because it's like, there are helpful moments, I think, like you said, to grow from, but to evaluate your performance weekly almost is like never useful. Right. And so, yeah, I think that's so it. So anyway, point is, we probably won't be listening, but we really appreciate that y'all are listening. So thank you.
You can listen as many times as you want to and take notes and do whatever you want with it.
Exactly.
You're free to judge me too. Like, I don't care.
Judge away. That's kind of the point. And I think the point is too, is that usually we find when we're judging someone else, we just see that opportunity of something we're looking at in ourselves. So I think that's why it's so helpful too, because it's like if Erica says something that makes you like cringe or have a moment or whatever, like it's so useful to be like, ooh, what is here for me? And this is why I think the process is so useful.
Yeah.
So good. Yay, everyone's congratulating Michelle. So cool. Okay, so last kind of few questions here. I think one of the things I would love for you to tell everyone is just like not an in-depth thing because we go into it the first episode, but just like how long you've been doing this and things like that, so they kind of understand the context there and where you're at right now.
So I had the idea to become a sexuality teacher or coach or something. I didn't know that you could be a coach. I had like sexuality teacher or something like 7 years ago, I think it was. And then I started studying sexology, and then I did a coaching program a few years after that. I've been in business since 2016, but I was working mostly, oh no, actually no, I've been running my coaching business since 2018. That's more clear and simple.
Yeah.
So about 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. And I think also like really helpful to go into listening with that context, because I feel like sometimes when we start listening, we almost think that person is like, we just decide they're almost like at the same length of time we are, do you know, like our brains do that. And then we like are like, I should be further, or I should be this. Or so anyway, like keep that in mind when you're listening, that like we're talking to someone who's also like 3 years deep, and then even much further in terms of like how long you've been teaching this, doing this work, right?
Yeah, exactly. I started learning about business, working with sexuality coaching and all of that, and working with a really successful coach in her team as an admin person and teacher on her team in 2016. So I've been doing this work for almost 5 years, but I started running my own coaching business and getting clients and like really building my audience 2018.
Yes. Oh, great question. Okay, so let me ask you this question Michelle has, that Leslie says, looking forward to the podcast, really enjoying the candor and openness already. Oh, I love that.
Yay.
Michelle says, we do, Michelle, but that's like a good question to answer right now. She basically said, do you mostly do one-on-one work, group work, or courses?
So I have been doing mostly one-on-one. And then in December last year, I launched my first course, and I launched it again in May or June. And we talk about this, but it increased in revenue with 40%. So yay. And now I really want to expand into doing masterminds, want to create another more like in-depth course, and keep one-on-one as a more like really premium high ticket offer.
Yeah. And price point wise, what are pleasure treats is like the first thing you launched?
Yeah, the first course I launched at 49 euros. So about 50, like $60 US.
Yep.
And then we doubled the price for the second launch. And for coaching, I charge around $7,000 US for a 10 session package. Yeah.
Perfect. So good. And she has a mastermind coming up. If you're interested, you can get on the wait list, which I want to get into in 2 seconds. Because I know you have to go because it's the end of your day over there. But yeah, I think what's cool about that too is to see that like you are charging premium rates for your one-on-one coaching. That's not just something that a business coach is allowed to do. Again, they're just louder and talking about it more. And you're booked out and you have a wait list and people are signing up for that. Like, I think just hearing that is so helpful. And you really played with like making it accessible and having it be lower ticket for pleasure treats and things like that. So I think that's like really cool to see like both work and both have worked really well for you. Okay, so tell them, you know, where they can start following you and connecting with you. Obviously, you have an amazing Instagram. Tell them about that website, all the things.
You can find me on Instagram. It's a really juicy, sensual, sexual, and informative place filled with beautiful art, really personal and educational copy and text. So you'll learn a lot if you're interested in the topic and you want to learn more about being a woman, being sexual, orgasms, pleasure, and you know, all of the amazing things that your body is capable of. Definitely check out my Instagram. It's Erica Alsborn. Simple. And then from there, you can click into and find my website, but it's also ericaalsborn.com. Sign up for my newsletter. I send out, I think, the best newsletter on the planet every Wednesday. And on my website, you find my blog where I post all the newsletters as well. So there's like info on how to have anal orgasms and G-spot orgasms and how to understand your sensuality better. What's the difference between your sensuality, your sexuality? It's very informative, very beautiful, really tasteful. But yeah, also in your face.
I feel like you just described your personality, like very beautiful and nurturing and tasteful and also really in your face.
That's funny. Yeah, it's so true. And structured now and organized.
Oh, and organized. Thank you very much. Michelle said, so good to hear. Super pumped for this season. Was pumped before, but this is going to be so helpful and so much good evidence. Preeti is super excited. Lindsay cannot wait. Oh, I love this. Oh, you guys, my heart, it's exploding. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. I love you. I am so grateful to you. I think you are going to change so many people's lives, businesses, perceptions, obviously sexuality through this. So I am so thrilled to do this with you and I can't wait for Wednesday.
Yay, me too. Thank you, Lacey. It's been a wonderful journey so far. And yeah, I think another big thing that you'll also listen to in the podcast is how I went from thinking I have to do this course to doing a mastermind. And so that's coming up in a few weeks. We're working on it on the back end. It's called Shameless, and it's going to be absolutely radical and beautiful. And all of those things that I just shared about my website and my Instagram and my personality, like that's the flavor of my work. So if you're curious and it lights something up inside you and your pussy goes, oh, then check it out. You'll find information on my website, on my Instagram.
Yes. It's the branding for it is so amazing. So if you just want to see like fun branding, go check out Erica's branding for Shameless, and then you'll end up getting on the wait list. Lindsay loves the title. It's so funny. This is like just a side note, and then I'll let you go because I know you have to go. But when Erica and I had a discovery call, she's like, I have this idea for a mastermind. I'm going to tell you the title. And if I ever see this title anywhere, I'm coming for you. Because she had this vision for it. And so it's so cool to like see this coming to life. So excited.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, thanks everyone for being here and for your comments and support already. And I look forward to connecting with you. Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. So.
It is going to be a ride. Yeah. So first episode comes out Wednesday. Make sure to listen. Again, if you just make a comment, we'll give away the $200 gift card soon. I just really appreciate you guys being here and cheering her on. I truly don't have words for how much that means to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys and I love you. And we will see y'all Wednesday. Bye guys.